Hello, hello. Welcome back. This is episode 8 of Pages and Perspectives, and I want to talk about friends today. So, thank you guys who have been listening. Right now, I am leaving work, and I just wanted to get on here and talk with you guys about my experience with friends. I feel like as you get older, and as you change personally, your friend group changes, and the people that you would normally want to be around changes also. And that's because your goals have changed. Everything is changing. So you can't expect the same people that have been around you for decades or even your own family to understand who you are now and, you want to be around. So, so let's talk about it. Where do I want to start? So there were three like people, and if you know who they are, you can put them in the comments. I'm not gonna say their names, but there were three people from my past who really impacted the way that I viewed friendship and made me second guess myself and made me had to reevaluate my whole life based on these three people. And then there's one currently, not currently, but there's one of this year that I feel like I learned a lot from, but then when I became cordial and tried to get a friendship with this person, I ended up falling back into like getting caught up with toxic people. So the first person we're going to talk about, I've known for years, and I knew her when she was a child, and we're friends with her parents and stuff. So, when I knew her, we used to smoke and chill and hang out, and you know, that's that's really what it was about because I didn't have Nathan. We were in the party scene, hanging out all the time. So we were just I had time. I had time to always be with people and always be around somebody. But, you know, I didn't have the same goals and I didn't have the same intent that she did. So she would do things that are a little bit off. She would talk to guys that were a little bit dangerous. She would get herself caught up in situations. She stole from me. I'm not going to say what it is, but if you know, you know. She stole from me. And after that, it was kind of like I did that. But then at the same time, I didn't get it. I picked back up my friendship with her a few years later after I had had Nathan because she had had a child also. So I'm like, okay, cool. Can we be friends? Can we raise our kids together? Like, can I get the friend back that I had? Because when we had cut ties, yeah, she had stole from me, but it was also like a toxic situation she was in. She was kind of like influenced by the guy she was with to steal from people because he was a bomb and liked to steal and like I just didn't want to be around that. And I can't tell my friends who to date and who to like talk to. So it was either like I can't be friends with her or she left the guy. So I just had to leave that whole situation because I'm like, I don't even know like what's happening. All I know is you stole from me. I had to go through a really traumatic all I know is you stole from me and I had a really traumatic experience and I didn't know if I could trust her after that. So after reconnecting and I forgave her for stealing from me and stuff. After reconnecting, we had fun times with our kids. We would go to the pool, we would like hang out and do stuff. But she also had a baby daddy that is caught up in a lifestyle that I just caught up in a lifestyle that I just didn't want to be around. She had a baby daddy that I just didn't want to have anything to do with. So it was just weird because, you know, I liked this person. I actually loved her. She could have been like a little sister of mine. That's how close we were and how often I was around her. But because she chose who she chose to have kids with, very like negative and toxic people, I couldn't find myself to be around her anymore. And she didn't want better for herself. So, you know. If that's the basket you want to lay your head in, then lay your head in that. And ever since then, it's been no longer a thing. I haven't talked with her in years, I'd say. Probably hmm, Nathan had his Nathan had his trach still when I had last spoke with her. So Nathan was four, so maybe like 4 years ago since I've spoken with her. Since I moved, yeah, maybe longer, since COVID actually. Um, no, probably about 4 years because when I moved into my apartment at that time, she came over a couple times. So yeah, maybe about 4 years. But ever since then, it's like I've been burned so much by her and like the things she would do. I don't even miss her anymore. I wish her well, but I wished her well. But like at the same time, I don't even know if you're doing stuff for yourself, if you like the abuse from the guy you're getting it from. Like I don't even know. And then she tried to have her baby daddy message me some inappropriate shit. I don't even know if she knew. And even if she didn't know, she didn't even say nothing to the guy. She just let him give me some crazy ass freaking message on Facebook. And when I told Danny's like, yeah, yeah, that's not gonna fly. So I just didn't like that shit. And like she couldn't say nothing. I was her friend. You couldn't defend me. You couldn't tell your baby daddy something. Nothing. So that had to end right there. And ever since then, I've been okay with it. I can't force you to be my friend, and I can't expect you to be the type of friend that I'm looking for. So I kept that pushing. And it was a lot of bad blood from back in the day, too. Like, she had me so much stuff for me. I was giving, this is like a third and fourth chance I was giving her. So after that, I was like, yeah, I'm cutting this. This is not even like, I don't even care. Like, I don't even care. So that was friend one. Friend two. Friend two, I will say she came around when I had Nathan, when I first had Nathan, and she was friends with a lot of the people that were around us, or she had known them. She's not from Florida. So when I ran into this friend, I actually met her at a wedding, and me and her kicked it off at the wedding. And after that, she would come over to my house. She had family in Tampa, I think, or Claremont, but she would never want to stay at her family's house. She always wanted to stay in Orlando to be a hoe, basically, because she was looking for dick. Let's call it what it is. She would come to my house, and because Danny and I know a lot of people, we had people over all the time, back when we were hanging out more, she would be expecting Dick to be at my house all the time. So that's why I like look back and I'm like, damn, were you really trying to be my friend or were you just looking for somebody to like hook up with? And she tried my sister-in-law's brother too. Nobody knows that. All of a sudden she's wearing short shorts when he came over and it was just weird. But we could see what she was trying to do. She used my house as a place to stay in Orlando so she can run around and do whatever the fuck she was doing before she got married. Because she's married now. So this friend decided to so I was in this group for like 5 years, I'd say, for a very long time. And it was a close-knit group, and we did business together in a sense. We did events. I really felt like I did footwork and I didn't get the recognition that I should have. But I took it as a learning lesson and I used it for my own benefit, which is why I do marketing and stuff now, because I learned from that team. So even though I got the short end of the stick for some stuff, I still did my best and I took the experience positively. So the fact that this random outside person decides to go to one of the members and tell them that I'm talking shit about them, like I'm talking about them behind their back, was baffling, was really ridiculous because I had pictures with them. I would go to their house, we knew their parents, like they knew my mom, like it was just ridiculous. I had them around Nathan. There was no intent of me trying to not be a good person and what I took shit about people I was friends with. I'm not that type of person. So the fact that this girl went and said something and then those guys actually believed it blew my mind. Like I was in the middle of taking care of a medical child and this is what you believe. You believe that I'm actually like out here trying to talk shit about people and like be manipulative and vindictive. Like I was learning about how to take care of a child with medical issues. I was looking for my friends around as support to be there for us in those hard times, or if we needed to go out and have and do something fun. My support system at that time crumbled. Like, they didn't even realize. Very selfish. Like, you just listened to what this one girl said, and even when you asked me and I told you no, I did not say that about her. You guys still listened to it, and they still, took it and ran with it and broke up the whole group because of it. Because people were forced to choose sides at that time. And not only that, the guy who was one of the main guys, a part of the group, was messing around with people's wives and girlfriends and shit. So, messing around with people's wives and girlfriends and stuff, how can I even believe you were a friend at that point when you're over here messing around with your friends' girls and thinking it's okay and thinking that they're gonna stay your friend and want to do business with you? Like, real shady shit, right? I don't know what he's doing nowadays. Nowadays he doesn't I don't even know. Um Branched out from a DJ to owning a business. So, that's great for them. But this was my experience with them, you know? So, believing in this girl destroyed that whole relationship that I had. And, at the time I was very angry about it. But now that I look back, I'm kind of grateful that I didn't waste more time running behind them because I wasn't getting paid for anything. Like I said, I used it for my own learning experience, and I did the best I could with what I was given. But if I was given more opportunity, if I was able to be a part of things more, my skill and my knowledge would be, more than what it is today. But I'm optimistic that I will get to that level I want to be at, regardless of where I started. So that was my second experience with a friend that would come to my house, would be around my child, would be around my personal life, and go back and backstab my personal life and go back and backstab me and make people who was around me believe that it was this other person. So that was a eye opener. But when that happened, we were able to focus more on Nathan and worry about his health and grow and try to be better people after that. I stopped working for 5 years, so I just focused on Nathan at that point. I had my little friend group, and that's exactly where it is today. This where it is today. The same friends that I had back then is who I have now. Like, maybe a handful of people, and even that circle's getting smaller because as I'm changing and as my goals are changing, they can't not everybody can go with me to the next level. Sorry, not sorry. But when everybody was worried about themselves and thinking about themselves, and Navi was over here trying to help everybody, nobody thought about how Navi was. Nobody cared about my feelings and about things about me. So it's just interesting. So going back, so that was a traumatic friendship experience that I learned from. And I learned not to have people at my house like that. And uh, that if I tell people things, I want to make sure that I'm okay with other people knowing what I'm saying. Like, if I tell you something, I will be okay if you end up telling somebody who doesn't know me or end up putting it on Facebook or end up doing something with it. I'm okay with that. I learned my lesson not to give away all my fucking cards up front. So I guess that's what I learned from that friendship. So, number three, moving on to another traumatic kind of friendship that was kind of lingering. And mind you, I knew these girls for a little bit too. It's not like a 1 or 2 year friendship. Like, I knew these girls. So the fact that I had all of these issues was ridiculous. So, so this girl I known and we worked together for a little bit. She dated Danny's cousin when we first met her, and we hit it off pretty well. We had a cracked phone screen. We both had the Galaxy when it first came out, and both of our phones was cracked. And we kind of bonded over that, like, damn, you're a messy bitch too. And after that, we just started hanging out and, getting to know each other more. She ended up breaking up with his cousin, but then still stayed friends with us. So when she was still friends with us, she would go, obviously she's single and she'd have a boyfriend here or there, and, we'd have like hangouts with her. So there was no issues. Um, what made us fall out first time, we fell out twice. All right. Now I know that I should. A lot of people have told me I'm too nice. I'm too nice. I'm too open. I give people too many chances. Blah, blah, blah. It's just who I am. And I don't judge. And I don't know how somebody's going to respond to me or treat me until after I get in it with them. So, this last friendship from how long ago? 2022. No. Yeah, right after I had my second son, I linked back up with her in 20 after 2021. So yeah, so like 2022-ish, end of 2021, 2022-ish. She's, back around. We fell out the first time because we both played mass for Orlando Carnival, and we had rented um a hotel, like a resort style hotel, and we shared it with a bunch of people. And she wanted the master bedroom, fine, but I had to split the cost with her. So I was asking her for a receipt. I was asking her for some kind of proof on the payments. She didn't want to show me anything. So at that point, like I wasn't making money like that. So I didn't know where my money was going to. And all she kept doing was asking for more money. So after that, I cut that bitch off too. I was like, yeah, nah. However, I got back around with her because when I had Nathan in 2017, I wasn't working. And I had went that year to get clusters on my lashes from like this random nail place, and the clusters messed up my lashes so bad, it pulled out my natural lashes that I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm never gonna do this again. So when I saw that she was doing it, she was doing lashes, and if you know, you know, I was like, okay, maybe I can reconnect. Some time has went by. I'm a different person. I'm a mom now. People can reconnect and maybe it can work this time. I kept it strictly like business, but I didn't treat her like a stranger either. She would come over and have wine. She'd smoke with me. She would even come on off date. She would bring her whole stuff. I lived on the third floor of an apartment building. She would bring her light and her equipment and all her supplies and come do my lashes for me for a cheap cost. Until then, she started getting bigger. She started doing lashes out of her home over in Davenport. So then I had to drive to her, which was not a problem because at that point I was in love with my lashes. Like she was doing a good job. I liked how I looked. It was minimal maintenance. So I just continued it from that point. So from 2017, I've been doing my lashes. So then as a client, when you have people that you work with or who do your service for you for years, you start building like a relationship with them because you talk with them. They know your personal business. So I ended up reconnecting with her. I turned from client back to friends, even though we started off as friends. And I was a different person. I looked different. I had braces, I had, a bunch of stuff. So it was a different relationship getting back with her to do my lashes. And as she's grown, and I was proud of her growth because she didn't really like lashes, but she did it because she saw I made money. So I love that, like, cool, you're a boss ass bitch. Like, you took something you like or took something that you learned how to do, and now you're making money with it. You can quit your regular 9 to 5, and this can be your full-time job. Like, it was inspiring. I'm inspired by people like that. However, I didn't learn about her personal relationships until after we became friends again. And I started getting invited and we started doing brunches, and now brunches are a thing. Brunches are my thing. And, brunching and hanging out and, she starts to grow even more. She starts to grow to the point where she's no longer happy with her husband. Like now it's getting personal, and told me all these things about her husband and why she doesn't want to be with him and why she's breaking up with him. And I'm like, just a supportive friend, like, okay, I believe you. Like, wow, like that was so horrible of him. Like, completely like was fooled and believed everything she said. Now, I never fact check her, but I kind of don't believe what she told me now. So, told me a bunch of horrible things about her marriage at that time and was like, yeah, she's ready to get divorced and live on her own. She did it. She ended up doing it. She got divorced, she lived on her own and doing her lashes in her home, wanted to have a studio, wanted to have a building, and ended up doing that too. I helped her find her studio. I actually didn't have any experience with commercial real estate, and I found the studio. I contacted who I needed to, found out what we needed to do to get the place as far as documentation, filled out landlord approvals, everything, permits, everything we needed to do. I learned how to do it, and I helped her do it. And that was like the beginning of the end because she thought that I was her employee. She wanted to hire me at like a 1099 and pay me $50 every time that I went to work with her. And that wasn't working for 5 years. Like this is the first opportunity I get for work. I mean, it would have been fine if I wasn't using the same $50 to go to lunch with her because she wanted to do work meeting lunches and she didn't pay all the time, which is I didn't expect her to. But she's choosing these expensive places and I would use that same $50 to fucking pay for whatever we were doing. So I wasn't taking home anything. And I have a husband, I have a child. Like, I couldn't contribute to the bills in my home. I couldn't even put gas in the fucking car we were using to hang out and go to brunches and do all this stuff. So that was a real eye opener. Like, like I have a child who's looking up to me and who I need to take care of. I can't even do that. I had Danny pay for everything for the last 5 years. He took care of us financially. And I'm like, I've never been that type to do that. When am I gonna have my own to help him out? Or at least be able to cover my expenses, even if he doesn't want me to pay for bills. I didn't have anything for myself. And I'm like, this is not where I want to be. I didn't just get my bachelor's degree in marketing. I didn't just lose a child. I didn't just almost die myself for somebody to come in here and undervalue me and make me feel like I was a fucking assistant or foot slave or whatever the fuck she thought I was. So we had we broke up. I would say broke up because I made a video for her and mind you, people who know me, like, know I do content, know I do videos, know I do pictures. I've been doing it before it was even cool. I was doing it before anybody else was really doing it. And now everybody's a content creator. Everybody's fucking not afraid to get on the camera and talk and this and this and this. But people don't remember where that shit started. There's somebody who always encouraged you or gave you the knowledge to do it. Or if you saw I could do it, that meant you could do it too, right? So I gave people a lot of encouragement and inspiration. So I made a video of her new studio, like an intro kind of video. She didn't like it at all. She called it ghetto. She said it was unprofessional. She said I'm damaging her brand. She said all of this extra shit. And mind you, it was just a post. It was just a video that I could delete and I didn't have to send to anybody. It could have been erased from social media. But she took it to the next level. And then she proceeded to put me down and talk shit about me and made me feel like she knows business. She took one business class. She's been working off of experience, trial and error. I actually went to school. Like I have seen business owners. She wasn't the first one. But I went to school and I took special classes just for marketing. So, excuse me if I feel like I knew more than she felt like I did. And you know the lash business. You know what it is to keep up with that and your clients and marketing for that. But what do you really know other than that? You don't know how to help other people with business. So I felt insulted. Go ahead and I put it on social media. I screenshot her text messages and I put it on social media because I felt like at that point was something told. And I felt like she wasn't understanding anything I said. And at that point, she just wasn't listening at all. She was talking, talking, talking. And if we were friends, if anything, we were clients. And you're not even like listening, you're just talking, comprehending anything anybody's telling you. Like, what was I listening to myself in Baltimore? She goes and she responds to my post. I did a talking video. She proceeded to say that I was a black, she didn't say my name, but she said that I was a black. that there's a lot of negative things going around her, and since I've been updated in life, things have been going better, and all of these things. Well, you know what? That kind of happened for me too. Like, if I was such a bad thing in your life, although she was doing things to herself, like leaving her car keys in her car and not expecting it to get stolen, I mean, is dumb people stuff, honestly. But, I really expected, you know, I knew my life would have changed. I knew. Because there's certain people who hold you back, and certain people, like, I was too focused on. I never focused on myself. I told myself in 2024 I was going to be selfish. I was going to put me first, whether that was because, like, with Nathan and Danny. I was going to put myself first because I can't take care of them if I'm not okay. So I was like, no more of me focusing on other people. People are going to respect me because I respect myself, and that's it. And that's how I've been moving since 2024, beginning of 2024, because I've been shamed and I've been wronged by w- all of these people who were friends, and all of these people who were close put me last when I put them first. So I started putting myself first. And ever since then, my life had went great. When I broke with her, I finished school, got my bachelor's degree, graduated in North Carolina, walked my ceremony. Nathan has been doing great. No trade, progressing, going to second grade. Like that year that I stopped talking to her, in 2022, like 2023-ish. No, November 2022, I started Morgan and Morgan. I got my first job after not working for 5 years. So just as I was a black cloud to her, she was a black cloud to me, preventing me from doing anything that would progress me in my life to actually make actual money. So now that I'm looking back at stuff, all three of these girls gave me lessons and taught me about putting myself first, not trusting so much and so soon. Although I do have that one issue. I trust a little too soon. But these girls taught me some stuff about myself, and I'm kind of like a person that's hard head. Like it takes hard lessons for me to learn stuff. So I'm just glad that I know now, about those experiences, and I know how to move if something like that was to happen again. I kind of have more knowledge. So, we can only learn and grow as we experience certain things, and I don't have any regret. Those girls were in my life for a reason, so I take it as what it is. But the last but not least, is a recent one. This one, I hadn't known her that long, so this is what makes this one a little different. I didn't even know her like that. I met her officially my birthday last year, November, because I did a photo shoot and I rented a bench from her for my photo shoot. And she delivered it to the house, and she sat and saw me do my makeup and hair, and she came and picked back up the bench after that. But at first we're like, oh, okay, she's cool, like I don't really see nothing wrong with her, just filling people out. So after that, she saw that I did taxes, and she asked me about taxes. So, she wasn't even supposed to join the team, and I put her in because I said that I would teach her, I would educate her when the owner didn't have time to. I would provide assistance for her. So, since November of last year, we were, getting to know each other. She has kids, and Nathan liked their kids, and it was cool because we really didn't have other kids around Nathan. Nathan was always alone with the adults. So it was cool to have somebody else around so Nathan could play with the kids, and, the adults could have their time. So it was like a new kind of thing. And, I am very open, and I'm very nice, and I'm very understanding of people's situations because I've gone through my own share. So I didn't judge her. I took what she said for face value. I didn't look deeper or think she was lying, or I didn't see anything of that because she presented an innocence She presented herself in a way of being a victim, of her wanting sympathy, and I didn't learn these things about her until I asked someone about her. And that person told me everything I needed to know. And I had feelings about her, like funny feelings from her, but I didn't really like think too much on it. I was like, maybe it's just me. Maybe because I've had bad experience with friends, I don't know what a good friend looks like. So I kind of like didn't do too much with it. Because she was texting Danny, not telling me she's texting him. She was focused more on like guys. When I'm like, I just broke up with a friend who was guy crazy because I'm a mom and a wife and I can't be doing that stuff. And you're an actual mom. Like, she was a mom and she has kids and you're over here going guy crazy, which I can't respect that, because as a mom, even if I was single, I wouldn't do that. I would always put Nathan first, and he wouldn't even see anything that I'm doing if I was doing anything. So lack of self-respect was apparent, but I didn't judge her. Once again, I tried to help her. I helped her get clients. I helped her market. I helped her with her own side business. I tried putting her on to a lot of events. That way she can get clientele and try to build herself. But again, why do I care about people's businesses more than they do? I shouldn't want to push you to market your own business. Like, it was ridiculous. And then I'm not getting paid for any of this. This is coming from the kindness of my heart, which is free. So the fact that I was giving advice, she was taking it at first. I feel like she was cool, but after a while, like, I started noticing things. Like, Nathan's birthday in March of this year, we went to Aquatica, and she was there by herself with her 2 kids, and Danny's over here helping her with her kids. And I'm like, okay, she's single. She doesn't really have help. I have help all the time. There's nothing wrong with Danny trying to help someone who needs help. And at first, it was very innocent. I took it as an innocent thing. But then I felt some type of way that same day. I'm like, damn, it's Nathan's birthday. Why isn't Danny walking with his son? Like, it's not like we were all walking together. They were like far behind us, walking by themselves. And I'm like, this was a weird vibe for me. So from March, I started peeping shit. Then April, now we had Easter. We took the kids to the park and we did kites, and we came back to the apartment and we did some arts and crafts, and I gave them like Easter baskets and stuff. But when we were at the park, like, she was expecting, like, Danny was helping one of her kids with their kites. I'm here with Nathan, and he's over there helping her with her kids again. And I was getting very frustrated at that point. And then when we got back to our house after the park, one of our neighbors came over and started helping her with one of her kids. So I'm like, cool, now Danny can pay attention to Nathan. So it was those little things that I started peeping. Like, damn, like, why do you keep trying to take Danny away from his kid? And why do you want all the attention on you guys? Like, I get that there's no guys around. Like, your kids don't have their dad around all the time. But why are you trying to take your friends' men and grab attention from them? Which is also weird. Like, it was giving, like, whose friend are you really? Are you my friend? Or are you trying to fuck my husband? Like, I didn't get it at that time. So, noticed that little shit. Then we went somewhere else. We went to Swerve. We went to Swerve Orlando, a car show. And she's complaining that she has to push a two-child stroller. Like, she was expecting Danny to help her or something. And I'm like, what the fuck? And Danny, at that time, Danny's like, no, I'm not helping her. I don't want to help her. I feel uncomfortable. She's making me do things, and, like, I feel sorry for her. So I'm like, yeah, fuck that. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. And she definitely knows what she's doing when you come outside and you bring 2 kids. You have to have stuff for them, food, drink, supplies, whatever. And that's her fault if she's lacking on that. I can't make her be a better parent too. Like, it was becoming like a project. Like, I'm supposed to help you, not do it all for you. And that's what it was feeling like. Like, I was doing it all for you, and I felt really disrespected. Because the fact that you're texting Danny and you're not even telling me that. Till this day, she hasn't told me that she was messaging Danny on the side. And I don't care what the conversation was. I'm your friend. I put you on. I'm mentoring you. And you still decide to talk to Danny instead. And the last straw with her, and from November, to June was our friendship. We expired in June. I just cut it off and I deaded it right then and there. I didn't care to fix anything or explain or nothing. She didn't care. She took I'll tell you exactly what happened. So she goes and we had a housewarming on a Saturday. And the day before, on the Friday, she just comes to my house. Now, she doesn't know this, and if she's listening, then she'll now figure it out. But Danny was home, and he saw her on the camera, and he messaged me, and he's like, why is she here? And she came with her kids and her brother, and I'm like, I don't know. She's not supposed to come today. She didn't tell me she was coming. I would have told you if she was coming. Like, clear lack of communication. So I call her. I'm not even home. Danny's hiding in the house because Nathan is not home, and he doesn't want something to happen or him be accused of something, so he acted like nobody was home. So I call her. I said, hey, nobody's there. Like, what are you doing? You didn't tell me you were coming. She's like, oh, isn't the party today? And mind you, my party was for Saturday at 2 o'clock. She comes Friday after 2 o'clock, so not only did you come late, but on the wrong day. And she's like, oh, I thought it was today. And even her brother pulled up the invitation and was like, no, it's on Saturday, it's tomorrow. So I don't know why she thought that she could just pull up to our house. If you wanted to drop stuff off for the backdrop that you did for me, which I paid you $100 for, even though you didn't ask for money, I still gave you money because I wasn't going to do you like that. You could have told me that you wanted to leave stuff there the day before. You could have mentioned something to me instead of pull up to my brand new house that not a lot of people had the address for. I didn't even invite your brother. Like, could you tell me that you're bringing people with you? It was a clear lack of communication and disrespect. So me having that issue and that issue with her that Friday, when now Saturday, she comes and her demeanor is very like down and sour. And I'm like, what is the problem? Like, are you okay? Like, she's like, oh no, I just have cramps. Like, and she came late too. Like, she was supposed to come at a certain time. Backdrop and our stuff wasn't finished until after my guests started arriving. So I'm like, okay, maybe she does have cramps. I said, hey, she asked me if I had Advil. I said, no, I have Tylenol. I can give you something. She didn't want it. Even though she asked me for pain meds and I said I had it, she didn't want it. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I just let her be, and I continued getting my house ready for my housewarming and my guests, and she barely talked to me. She was asking Danny to buy pizza for the kids. Like I told you before you came, that this isn't a kid's party. Bring stuff for them. Bring food and drink and their toys or whatever they want. And, like that. Like, we had just went to Costco. I spent $700 between supplies and food to prepare and barbecue. And you were asking us to get pizza. Like, at first we were like, oh, maybe she wants the address for the pizza because she didn't know the address. But then she kept asking, and she was asking Danny. She wasn't even asking me. She was asking Danny. And Danny's like, go ask Navi. Go talk to Navi. And then she came to me talking about pizza. I'm like, yeah, order it. Like, here's the address. Order it. Like, I didn't know that she wanted us to buy pizza. Mind you, I learned a lot about this girl after that, where she could have afforded to get the pizza. So the fact that you want other people to buy stuff for your kids and you, I just don't. So on top of that, then she's like, oh, I had hot dogs from the day before. So she's like, oh, you only have one hot dog left, or like one bun left or something. And I'm like, okay, well, split it for them. If your kids are hungry, split it for them. Let them at least eat something. She's like, no, trust me, I know my kids. They're not going to want it. I was like, oh, okay. Like, the way she said it, like, oh, trust me, I know my kids. Okay, sure, you know your kids. I left her alone. I said, cool. Next thing I know, she's over here giving her kids the hot dogs. I said, oh, what happened? How come you're giving them the hot dogs? Oh, now there's more. There's enough for them. Oh, I didn't know that there was 2. Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. But you just weren't going to feed your kids? Like, I don't get it. Like, were you looking for sympathy? Were you looking for a victim mentality? You want me to feed your kids? And those kids there's nothing wrong with them. They're just learning from a poor parent. And they have a lack and a disconnect in their household because the dad is no longer with you. So your boys are no longer learning like a joint household anymore. You have to take into consideration of that. So she goes and she's like, yeah. And then she had this down demeanor the whole time. Now my guests start arriving. My real friends start arriving, and then a couple that decided to act weird with me this past weekend was also there, and I stopped having them come over too. I don't care if they hear this either, because they were acting real funny last week Saturday. So I didn't get no hi from nobody. So you come to my housewarming, and the minute that they showed up, this friend is all of a sudden, her mood is happy. She's no longer in pain. She's laughing. She's engaging. I'm like, whoa, where was this? Like, you were just sad in a corner like 2 minutes ago, and now you're all happy and go lucky. So I don't understand what the fuck that was about. Then my real friends start coming, like my friends that I've been friends with since before Nathan. And one's pregnant. She's like, oh, do you need help with anything? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure. My friend goes in the kitchen and just starts helping me with stuff. My real friends know what I need to do and to respect my place. So it was just funny. And then she's like, oh, do you need help with anything? Now you're asking me if I need help? You were the only person here prior to all my guests arriving, and now you're asking me if I need help? Where were you when I needed the help? You were in a corner sulking. You didn't want to help. So you don't want to help, and I feel some type of way now. So I'm like, why are you even asking me to do anything? So now it's like, I calmed down a little bit. I was a little bit aggressive. But it's like, okay, so go and continue doing what you were doing. So the whole time she was off doing her own thing, talking with everybody, mingling, not with me, with everybody else. And keep that in mind, mingling with everybody else except me. So whatever. I had plans to do content. Me and Sarah were doing content. We were asking questions. I was recording. So I didn't pay much mind to it. I was like, okay, as long as her kids are doing what I told them to do and what I asked them to do in front of her, because when they came in, I asked everybody to respect my rules and respect my house because this is something brand new. We worked hard to get it, and we can't treat this place like how we treated the last one. The last one was kind of like the hangout house. This one, I wanted to be my private space because I'm working hard for it. So I gave her, just like everybody else, adults and kids got the same rules, even Nathan. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was respecting my rules. So, everything happened. Her son wanted to leave. He didn't like my rules, so he wanted to leave. But she stayed. And I'm like, listen, if you want to leave and drop them off and come back, or if you need to leave and you can't come back, like, I appreciate it. I'm not forcing you to stay. If they're not happy, go do something with them. I'm not gonna tell a mom what to do with her kids. So she's like, no, she stayed. She stayed. She was the last one to leave, actually, with one of our other guy friends. Them two was the last two to leave. So I'm like, wow, this whole time you didn't even like want to stay, like your kid didn't want to stay, like you were miserable, and then you stayed the whole time. That was just very telling. Now I said keep that in mind because that was like the friendship the whole time. It's like I was spending more time with the kids and getting to know them versus me and her getting to know each other. Every time me and her interacted, it was me doing business with her, it was me teaching her something, it was me putting her onto something. And like even the fun times, the fun stuff we did, I was with the kids mostly, or I was with Nathan mostly because I have to look out for him. So it wasn't even like me and her were that close. People think that she was up my ass and like we were so tight and so close when I was still getting to know her. Because the kids got along is why I was like, okay, let's see if there's a friendship. Let's see. Because I haven't had this type of friendship. Like I tried that with one of my previous stories and it wasn't the same. So, I was just trying to go and do what I thought would have been best. And this friendship ended because of that. You know, she should have, I mean, not really because of that, but after I called somebody who knows her because I wanted to get like, I had this gut feeling. After the housewarming, that's what led me to call this person. And I'm like, can you just tell me about her? Because this is apparently like your cousin and you've been around her a lot, you've seen shit. Can you like tell me some stuff? And she ended up telling me a lot of things that put two and two together for me. Things started clicking. Things I saw started making sense. The way she was acting started making sense. And now she's going around telling people that I have a problem with her. And I don't have a problem with you. I just don't want to be your friend. And I don't want to fuck with you. And I don't know what you're telling people, but I hope that these people fucking have a brain and they learn that not to trust other people's word because I I saw these things. It's not like this person told me stuff about her and I just believed it. She told me stuff that I saw. And if my husband's saying he's not comfortable around her, then why am I not listening? So that's why that had to end because I found out things about her that seemed to be true, and everybody knew but me. So I'm like the last one standing to find out. So that's, my most recent trauma with a friend, now ex-friend. I thought that I was like a mentor. I thought I was helping, but never that. So now back to being selfish and working on my own stuff. So that's what I've been focusing on. Less of other people, more of me, whether I have a friendship with people or not, whether they like me or not. I just have to worry about me because everybody's worrying about them. So, with that being said, this has been Pages and Perspectives. My perspective. Navi out.